So now we're going to talk about cooking or baking or things like barbecuing activities, and we're going to look at it in all of the different phases: early phase, middle phase, and late phase. So what are we looking for when we're doing cooking or baking activities? What are some goals? Well, we want to promote higher level of involvement. We want to promote and maintain as many of the cognitive abilities as we can, maintain self-esteem through connectedness. It also provides an opportunity for socialization. It can promote strength, range of motion, and balance in our loved one, as well as a sense of belonging or purposefulness. When we're doing these activities of cooking, baking, or barbecuing, we want to make sure that we have the correct equipment and supplies, and that we provide our loved one with safe and familiar supplies. This is not the time to experiment with very unfamiliar tools. We want to use familiar cookware, baking supplies, and familiar ingredients to people. We don't want to use sharp instruments without direct supervision. Typically, you want to try to budget at least 3 times more time than you think you need for the task. And always remember food allergies, and we want to provide constant supervision with supplies, especially around a stove or a hot oven, and make sure that you're providing supervision with knives and scissors and things that are sharp. So early stages of dementia, here's what we want to know. We understand that the person can still understand the purpose behind the cooking task. They can attend to familiar activities for up to about 20 minutes. They may need one or two verbal or pointing cues or verbal or pointing cues or visual cues in order to remain on task. They can usually help choose from food groups or menus or recipes, as long as we keep them simple and familiar. They can typically help clean up and set up the activities. If it is a very familiar task, they may be able to work somewhat independently. We want to try to put the tools and supplies within 3 to 4 feet of their activities, and you need to choose the safest tools for the task. So do not use unfamiliar tools, use very familiar tools. The person can follow one-step verbal directions, and they will need supervision if you're going to be providing them written directions or reading of recipes. And typically they will be slower than normal when they are working on these activities. So some quick tips here. They can help you assist in choosing recipes, supplies. They can help you clean up and help when doing a familiar task. During the middle stages, when we're providing cooking or baking activities, the person may not likely understand the purpose behind the cooking, but they may still be enjoying and being satisfied in helping with the aspects of cooking. They typically can attend to up to 15 minutes, 5 to 15 minutes, and they need intermittent cues to continue to do the activity. For example, a good thing for somebody in a middle stage or moderate stage dementia is stirring a baking dish or something like that. They may need visual or what we call hand-over-hand assistance to start the movements and then sometimes to continue the movements. So they may need you to get them started. They may need you to remind them to stay on the task. We don't typically recommend using knives or sharp items at this phase, and all food and utensils need to be within arm's length, about 12 to 14 inches away. The person will need your assistance to go to the next step of the task, and written directions are not helpful anymore. They will also need you to present one item at a time when you are doing a cooking activity with them, and they are at a moderately slower than usual rate. Some quick tips here is one-on-one sequencing assistance is needed. Try to find things that have repetitive tasks like stirring or shelling peas. Try to use things that have larger handles or ways for them to hold on to things that are easier. And you want to break tasks into one step at a time. You cannot tell the person to do 2 or 3 things and expect them to follow through with it. At a late and end stage activity for cooking, baking, and barbecuing, we want to try to use what we call sensory stimulation. So, sensory stimulation is just using as many of the five senses as possible in order to use them in the task. So, you want to try to always remember that we have the sense of sight, smell, touch, taste, and hearing, right? So choose items that are safe and appropriate for the individual in that task. But when we're doing cooking or baking or any kind of food activity, we want to watch for swallowing and dietary restrictions as well. So, what kind of ideas do we have for late stage or end stage cooking, baking, and barbecuing activities for this phase of a person's journey? You can show them the food item, for example, a cookie. Say, here, look at this. If they are still able to hear well, you can have them sit close by and say, here, listen to the beating of the mixer. We're baking cookies. Tactile or tactile or touch stimulation. Have them hold on to something in their hand like a large handled spoon while you're busy stirring the cookie dough. Smell, have them be close by while you're baking the cookies and remind them to smell. Here, mom, smell the cookies baking. And at the end of it, try to make sure, you give them something to taste. You give them a newly baked cookie and say, here, take a bite. Try to taste that activity. So this was cooking and baking and barbecuing for all three the stages or four stages of dementia.